And here we are, live again. 1.5 hour until the futures is opening. And I'll just look into what happened last week. The big thing to me was the dollar and the gold to silver ratio. They had some huge breakdowns. And also I have added in some followers requests at the end of the video. So please stay tuned for that. And yeah, again, this is not financial advice. This is just the way I see the markets. And I hope you'll take a trade or two with you from what I bring. As always, follow me on YouTube and Twitter. Highly appreciate it. And without any further ado, let's get straight into the charts of the business. We will stay on the weekly. I have tried to clean up most of my lines here just for better visuals for what I'm trying to show today. And the big, beautiful takeaway for gold is this massive green candle right here after we had the big retest and then we broke out to the upside. And currently we are fighting the red one over here. You can see we have a big red candle here. And this week, I would like to see us getting above the 1960, which is also the high or the body high of that of this very big red week like a month ago. So beautiful price action here on gold. Looks nice. And if it does what I think it will, we will have the fourth touch within 6 weeks or so. And the fourth time we will break through. I cannot see a reason why we shouldn't. And that's also why when we look at the gold to silver ratio and the dollar and so on, there is some connections to why I say that. Again, silver had an amazing week. How much did it actually go up? I don't know, to be honest. I didn't check. Price roughly 8%. I like that a lot. Hopefully we'll get that this week as well. Again, massive big green candle. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Again, we have one touch, two touch. Let's still call it two touch, three touch, and we will have a fourth very soon, I think. And as mentioned many times, when we get above the 26, which is right here, this high here, in my view, that's when we're going to blast off to the upside. Just look at this one. This is a 10-year, 12-year long downtrend coming all the way down. So breaking that one, go time to 50 over a very short period of time, maybe like a year or so. It won't take long. It will not take long at all. So that's silver. And this is just gonna clean it up a bit here. This is the gold to silver ratio. Huge breakdown on the chart. You know, we have been following this bad boy for ever since I started the YouTube channel. And now we are breaking down from this expanding wedge here. You could argue that's also why I moved it, just to show you guys that if we move it up here for this low, it actually aligns a bit better because you have more touches on the way. And even though if we try to put it there, we still have a breakdown below the 79, 78, more or less. So that's really, really, really good for gold and silver. I also discussed this one with Andy from Finding Finance yesterday. I think it will be out today or tomorrow. It should be coming up very shortly. And as you can see here, this is a head and shoulders, and we're currently breaking down. And the neckline is at around 75 right here. That's where we will get a bounce, and then we will break down further. This one is actually part of a right shoulder from a much bigger inverted head and shoulders. You can see they have the right shoulder here, the head, and the left shoulder. So everything is starting to break down for the gold to silver ratio. And this overall big inverted head and shoulders that you have here actually points to a target of, yes, the 2011 high. And my take is that this is the first, second, and the fourth wave down. Excuse me, the third wave down here will be this one right here. So when we get close to here, we will get a bounce of some sort, and then we'll have the fifth wave and the massive blow off in gold and silver. So it's looking good. You can see it's breaking down on the weekly. We have the daily here, breakdown yesterday, excuse me, on Friday. So hopefully when we get the back test, we will hold, and then we will resume down towards the neckline. That's at least the path of least resistance to me. Let's look at the dollar in in the DXY. Again, we broke down off the 100.8, which I have been mentioning many times, was a very, very big level. We broke that one, very bullish for gold and silver. And where do we go next? In my view, we have the golden trend line coming here, down here, bit of a fake out here. And now we will go all the way down to roughly 97. And from there, we will see what happens. I expect we get a bounce of some sort. Let's see. Let's see what happens. This is actually one of the most interesting ratios that I have looked at for 2 years or so, which is the dollar divided by inflation. And you can see that we are about to break down off this very long-term range here. And when we do, that's when gold and silver will explode to the upside. Let me show you. This was the move in the 70s, and this was the move in from 2000 to until 2011. And when we break this one here, then we will start a, let's call it 10-year long bull run for gold and silver. It's quite amazing, isn't it? But we still need to take out the lows here. But last week we took out the shorter term lows at around here and the 14 low. And then obviously we have the low in back in 2011 right here at around 0.325. So we are getting there, you can see. Nasty red candle. So hopefully we'll get some follow through this week. Now into our favorite sector, URNM. Had a good week actually, even though people were disappointed. How many percent did we gain? Roughly 5%. I like it. I'll take that any day or any week. Let's say. Still, we are fighting the long-term resistance. This channel right here, we are fighting, but it is my take that we are going to blast through very shortly here. We don't need much to really gain momentum, and when we break this one, the momentum traders will get on board. So that's all we need. So a few percent we need to get above the 36, as you know. This high here, when we get above the 36, we are currently at 33.5. So we need like what, 7% or so? Yeah, 8%. And then it's a game on for URNM. Looks good. So hopefully we can break through this time around. But that's my take until proven otherwise. So Bitcoin, I think we have to go to the daily just to see. We're still in this what is it, like 1 month or so long bull flag here. We had a bit of a peak above, and then the next day was a very big red candle. So let's see what happens here for Bitcoin. It needs to break to the upside, otherwise we will go down to the 28,000 more or less, and then we'll see if it can hold the green uptrend channel right here. Weekly platinum. I love platinum. It looks good. It really looks good. This is my long-term simple chart for platinum. Big inverted head and shoulders right here, all the way across neckline. And I think last week it gained how many percent? Yeah, 8%. Beautiful. BEA, beautiful. I like it. So yeah, I think this is the left shoulder that we are trying to carve out here. And that's my take until proven otherwise. And if we break the neckline, we have a target of 1,600. So like a $600 gain at this point in time, if we can get to that. And that's only in the shorter term. Longer term, if we break, we're going way higher, of course, but still, this is what we're looking at for the next year. But yeah, the next year, if we can break this one. Palladium, I actually like Palladium, even though it looks not so good. This to me is a big Elliott wave, 1 to 5 Elliott wave count, and this one should break to the upside. Again, we still have a lot of resistance to get through. You can see the blue neckline here, and also we have this high here, so we still need to grind higher. But yeah, let's see what Palladium can do here after we get this count confirmed. Also look at this long-term golden trend line coming across. You have it there, you have it there, and now we are back testing it. Beautiful, beautiful. Palladium actually looks good, in my view. Let's skip that one for now. Copper, we are coming into a point in time for copper where we have to decide what we are going to do. We're getting into the apex of this long-term squeeze here. It actually starts all the way back from the March 2020 lows. And I think this week, last week's candle, this one right here, actually gives it away. I think that if we were to break to the downside, in my view, I think we would have done it. But again, we have to wait for the breakout. But still, this candle here is very, very promising. And if we can get above 4 on a weekly basis, 4.05 maybe on a weekly basis, weekly close, then I think we have the confirmation. So yeah, this week or the next week for copper could be very, very interesting. No matter which direction we go, I'm looking for the upside. But again, if we break down, you can have some big short gains on the shorting side as well. So yeah. XOP. Let's go to the weekly. I missed my line here. There it is. Like that. Okay. XOP is the oil and gas explorer. And zooming out here, to me, big inverted head and shoulders, as you know. So I'll just zoom in a tiny bit. It started out pretty good. As you can see, on Friday, we had a very big red candle day. So still, we have broken out. That's good. And now we are pulling back and hopefully putting in some sort of higher low here, and then we can grind higher. But for now, it looks good. We're still in the overall squeeze, which is around, what's that? That's a 1.5 year long squeeze. That's the main. But we broke the internal here, in my view, so we should get a visit to the upper side after we broke this one. We should get one here, getting up to like 142-ish before we can start to see where we go. So XOP looks nice. Similar, the OIH, which is the oil services long-term broken trend line, the golden one, and then we have just back tested it many times here, and now we're having a go again at this 333 level. So if we can break out from this zone right here, as you can see right there, then we have a lot more upside, which also should indicate that oil is going higher. So, so yeah, it looks good. I don't know how overbought we are on the. Yeah, you can see we're quite overbought on the daily. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of pullback here, and then we have another go just to reset the daily bullish sentiment. Speaking of oil, great week for oil in my view. We broke out of this golden trend line. We have the lower side here, the upper side here, and yeah, to my the way I see it, we are going to test the 82. I've been talking about a good weekly close above 82 for like ever since I started to do this channel, and also before. This is very good. Obviously, we want to grind higher and get the 82 to the 82 level, and then we can see what happens from there. But oil long term, look at this one, 15-year long golden trend line, all the way down. Big breakout in my view, big retest. I think we will visit the all-time highs in 2024 or 2025 in that range. Again, if we get a massive recession, you know, everything goes to a halt. Obviously, it will drag out, but I still think, you know, the underinvestment into oil will inevitably make oil go higher. So lithium looks absolutely amazing. This is one of the most bullish charts in my view that you have right now for what I can see on in the financial markets. Just look at this one here, big flagpole, intraday flag, and what happened last week, even the week before, excuse me, even the week before, we have a breakout. We did break out the week before, and now we are confirming it. So we could get a standard retest, and then you can buy that, and then we have resumption. But still, this one looks really good. And long term, if this measured move has any valid is valid, you know, the 100% measured move is at around 300, and we are currently at 70. So lithium market looks very good. Looks very, very good. As you know, we use it for batteries, new EV cars and so on. So lithium, I'll tell you, it's quite nice. I'm just adding in here the banking sector because it's been some time since we looked at the banking sector. I want to draw your attention to the white resistance line here coming all the way across. And let me show you. Ever since we peaked out here, late 2021, we have been in bearish formations all the way through. We have a bearish pennant here, and now we are in a bear flag. And I can tell you this, if this one gives in and we break down below the 2008 7 high here, that means that the banking sector is in for a massive, massive turmoil, let's say. And that is always good for gold. I think if you do a correlation check between the banking sector and gold, they are pretty much inverse to some degree. So yeah, if this bear flag breaks to the downside, we have a measured move at around here, meaning we will break the 30 level, and that would be very bad for any banking sector. So even though you have seen these banking go bust in like 3 months ago, this will only be the beginning if they break down here. A currency pair that I haven't been showed a lot is the USD to the Swiss franc, just because the correlation between gold and silver and this ratio is just dead on. So this move right here was the move in the 70s, and then we have the move here in the 2000 to 2011. And look what happened last week. Let's go to the weekly. Let's go to the weekly. We broke down from this massive 15-year-long bear flag all the way across. Boom. This tells me that gold and silver is going to follow due to the correlation between these two. And the move, if this really can get some traction, should be all the way down here at some point. So we're talking about a 40% roughly outperformance for the Swiss franc against the dollar, which means gold and silver will absolutely dominate during this period of time. I like it. I like it a lot. I think we're down to some of the follower requests. I'm just looking at NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA to me, I see no value in NVIDIA right now. The value was at the break here. I didn't buy it. I didn't look at that sector at that point in time. So I haven't bought anything here, but still looking at it. And it's still in my view that this is a 1, 2, 3, excuse me, let me recount that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fake out to the upside. And I think we are going to close the gap right here. This was an earnings gap where they surprised the market with a massive beating in earnings. But I think this gap has to be closed, and I think we could see it right now for a correction. Again, some people are calling for a lot higher numbers before this happens. I'm not ruling that one out, but still, to me, this pattern that we're looking at here, the bearish wedge fake out to the upside, usually means that we at least go down to the low side or the triangle high here. So let's see. It's one to follow. Again, I'm not invested in NVIDIA, so I'm just following it to see where things are going. Also, we had a request for tankers, the FRO, Frontline PLC. And to me, to keep it very short, we have made some massive breakouts here. Or as you can see, this one coming down here and the longer term one from 08 all the way down. Oops, oops, there it is. So we did break out, and then we did some correction after that. And now we are grinding higher in a bull trend. I think if we add the 200 moving average, yes, here it is. It's curling up. So tankers are looking good. And right now we are retesting this high here. And I think it's some sort of a flag here, you could argue. So I think we are pointing to a move to 25. Again, if we get a massive recession, that could be difficult to reach. But then again, until proven otherwise, that's my target here. So a move to 25 to get these highs back from 2013, 14 tested. The Widow Killer, the PODX. I was very interested in the cannabis at late 2022 here, I thought we were making a bottom here, but we didn't, and we broke down. So I had to sell with actually kind of a big loss in percentage terms, quite of a big loss. But I just want to show you that this long-term downtrend channel here, you can see it. It's perfect on the log scale all the way down here. When we break, if we break, it is actually an amazing buy. Believe it or not, even though people don't believe in it. This, if you just disregard it to be the products ETF, it could be any sector, anything, whatever. This right here, if it break, it's a buy no matter what sector you're looking at. So let's wait and see what happens. Currently, we are, yes, I showed the overall golden, but we are in some sort of a elite wave count here with a internal squeeze. So it could be. Again, we have to wait and see. We need to get above 8, 9 in that range, as you can see here, before we can say, okay, this is a breakout. And yeah, patience. Let's see what happens. The beatings though has been insane, right? Hasn't it? Yeah, 96% from the highs. That's rough. That's very rough. Okay, that's it. That's all I had for today. Let's see. The markets will open in like 1 hour. Let's see what happens. Follow me on Twitter and please comment below here if you have anything to say. The good and the bad, doesn't matter. I will comment on most of the stuff that you post. So without any further ado, have a great weekend, a great week, excuse me, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.